Sarah, what's up?
Hi, Mark. Hi, everyone.
Haha, this is so awesome, Sarah. Thank you for doing this. I really appreciate it. You being able to jump on the podcast, and congratulations on winning the hard man. Good Lord. Or should I say hard woman?
Yeah, hard women, absolutely. Thank you so much for having me on your podcast. I'm really stoked to be here. And thanks for your congratulations.
Yes, of course. Congratulations. For the folks, I had to look up the hard man because I wasn't exactly sure what it was. But for the folks that were in my boat a couple days ago, educate us on what is the hard man.
So, the Hardman is a local gravel, I want to say, slash road race.
Hmm.
That's been going on for a while now. I've done it for the second time. So, um, as I guess a lot of people don't know, but they've probably heard it by now that I am not from SoCal. So I moved here 3 years ago and started to discover like the local racing scene. And my friend told me about the Hardman last summer and that I should totally do it. And I did last year and I really loved it. So did it again this year. Anyway, so gravel slash road race, it's 92 miles, I
Good
believe,
God.
and 7,500 feet of climbing.
Good Lord.
And it starts in Anaheim, goes through Corona, over Skyline and Black Star down to Cooks and back. So it's an out and back, and
Oh,
it's grueling and it's super fun.
oh my gosh. So when you start in Anaheim, by the time you get to Corona and start heading up Skyline, is that somewhat close to the middle of the race? Are you around 40 miles ish there, or is that still the beginning?
Oh, that's the beginning.
Oh
Yes,
my gosh.
yes. And
Oh
because
my.
it's an out and back, you the middle is at the turnaround. So you
Okay.
know when you hit the middle is
Yeah.
when you turn around
They're like,
and
go
go back
back.
home. Yeah.
What is it? So over 7,000 feet of elevation. Are you taking multiple bikes in this race, or do you just choose one tool, whether it's road or gravel? And I know Skyline's dirt, right? So,
Correct. Yes. So it's a mix. That's why I said gravel slash road because it's a mix of surfaces.
uh,
But no, it's one bike.
okay.
And most people would come with a gravel bike. Some come with a road bike with slightly wider tires or with a little bit of tread.
Mhm.
And some people did it on a mountain bike, which I think is very impressive because
My gosh.
there's a lot of many miles on the road. So yeah.
Dang. Yeah, that is a ton on the road. We have some folks here in the audience that are saying, "What's up to you, Miss Sarah?" Brett Hall, owner of Unspoken Clothing Line, says, "Yo, yo, yo, what's up, guys? OMG, that's nuts. Congrats, Sarah."
Thank you.
We got Adventure Muse says, "So impressed. Sarah, that sounds even harder on a gravel bike." Yeah. My gosh.
It's not. Skyline and Black Star is so much fun on the gravel bike.
Trail Pimp is saying hello from Palm Springs. What's up, Trail Pimp? Good to see you, buddy. And Miami is in the house, the host of an up and coming awesome podcast called Mountain Bike Q&A. Johnny Yu is here. He says, "Good evening. Sorry, I'm late."
Hey.
Man, it is late in
Hi.
Miami. Thank you so much, Johnny, for jumping on.
Yeah, thanks for being here.
So Sarah just won the hard man and you took podium. What was how far back was second place?
I think about 12 minutes.
12 minutes.
Yeah.
That you killed it. You killed it.
Well, I had a bit more luck in my race because I know that second place, she had a crash down Skyline on the way back
Oh no.
and hit the ground pretty hard, but she's okay, just like a bit of blood and bruises.
Wow.
And third place, they finished together actually, which is kind of cool. And third place, she had a flat. So in the end, and that's also part of racing, right? Like you
Yes.
never know what can happen.
Yes.
Um, but yeah, my goal was really to beat my time from last year, and I wanted to finish under 6 hours. and I did that. So taking the win is just the icing on the cake.
Golly, that is awesome. So you hit your goal of less than 6 hours, 92 miles over 7,000 feet elevation on a gravel bike, and you're getting a lot of the podcasters coming in to see you tonight. This is great. This is Women's MTB Network. It's a network for women, about women and their experience through the view and the scopes of mountain biking,
Yeah. Hi,
bike.
Mia.
Yeah, there's Mia. You know Mia. There's Mia. She's oh, here it is. She says,
We've
"Hey, Sarah."
yeah, we've connected.
Yeah, she is awesome. She is awesome. So you had mentioned that you moved here a couple years ago. Where did you move from?
From Switzerland.
Switzerland. Okay.
So
Were you,
that's my home country.
oh, beautiful country. My
It
goodness.
is.
That is gorgeous. Every time you see the pictures from there, you're like, I gotta go there. I want to go
Oh
there.
yeah. You should. It's
I
beautiful.
definitely want to. How is the biking there different than out here in California when it comes to what you're doing?
Yeah. It's very different. It's a totally different climate. So the dirt is different. It's way more wet in Switzerland. We get to
Mm.
ride a lot of like um, wet dirt, like even mud, lots of trees, so lots of roots.
Ooh,
And
slippery.
then, yeah, and then the seasons are different. So we get to do like all the long rides during the summer. And actually, we don't ride that much during the winter. And here it's a little different because we got to do the long rides during the winter because the summer's way too hot to spend
Hot.
like 7 hours on a bike, right?
Right.
Um, it took me a while to get used to like the sand and like the slabs with like this sandy dust on it. Like the first
Oh,
couple of
yeah.
months I was riding here, I was relearning.
Oh, so
And
loose,
now,
right?
yeah,
The loose over hard conditions here?
yeah. So it's very different, but I love both, and I love riding here, and I I love riding in Switzerland too, obviously, but I haven't done it for a while, so hopefully I'll get to go again soon.
Was there have you done anything like the Hardman before in Switzerland, or was this like the first type of, what would you call it? Is this more of like an extreme type of riding, or are a lot of these gravel bike races this type of distance and elevation change?
Yeah, started I started to do like more long distance racing just before I left, maybe in 2018. Um, but I really started to go into like super long endurance once I moved here
Wow.
and doing more gravel. I mean, gravel was kind of just picking up in Switzerland when I left, and now it's also booming in Europe. But like, it's just really impressive how big it is over here, actually. And I mean, when you see like all the dirt roads and the trails that are here, like it totally makes sense.
Right. Yeah. Here's a picture of Sarah coming across the finish line of the Hardman just under 6 hours. What was your finish time? 550 something?
5:53.
553, and second place was over 605 or something like that.
Correct. Yeah, something like that, I believe. Yeah.
Man, 12-minute difference there. Um And you get there. I don't know if you guys can see this. Look at the guy. Look at the guy behind. Look at the guy behind Sarah right there. That guy.
Okay, so that guy was awesome. Like,
Yeah.
yes, I need to. His name is Rich, and I really need to thank him because we teamed up on the way back, and it was really great. And we helped each other and entertained each other with some conversation. And then he let me enjoy my finish, so
Oh,
yeah, he was awesome, and it was very nice meeting you, Rich. And thank you so much for the teamwork on the way back.
that is awesome. Shout out to Rich. Team player. That's I love that sportsmanship. That is so cool, Sarah.
Mm. And that's one thing about like cycling. People think it's like individual sport, but it's not. Like there's so much team effort behind it, and not only like during the race, but also like next to it, like preparing and training for it and whatever. It's just like there's so many people actually um, into the sport. Yeah, it's kind of this weird mix between individual sport and team sport, and that's really awesome.
Yeah, I could see that. It's like the camaraderie, almost like you're a crew, you're a group, you belong to this thing that you're all striving to do. So you kind of bond together. Brett Hall is saying because of where you came from, no wonder she's a billy goat. He's saying
Yep,
it.
mountain girl.
Yeah, mountain girl here. Johnny U Mountain Bike Q&A is saying 6 hours on a saddle. That's impressive in itself.
Okay,
Totally.
so you want to know impressive, then we can talk about Unbound.
Yes. What is N-bound? Tell us. Tell us.
Unbound Unbound gravel is like the most crazy challenge I've taken on so far, and that was 350 miles in one
Oh,
ride. So I spent 27 hours on my saddle that
holy
day.
cow. Holy cow.
Yeah, that was the most intense cycling experience I've had in my life so far.
Oh my gosh, Sarah. 20. Holy cow. Okay. How many miles? What's the elevation change? Where do they even have that at?
It was in Kansas. So
Okay.
Unbound is also like a very popular gravel race. Like if you're into gravel, like probably heard of it. It used to be called the Dirty Kansas, and now they changed the name to Unbound. Um, and yeah, they have different lengths. The Queen distance is 200 miles. That's what all the pros like
Oh
race usually.
my
And
God.
then they have an XL, and I thought if I'm going all the way to Kansas, I might as well just do the long thing.
Yeah, I can see more of it.
So,
I'm just gonna ride home. You can ship my suitcase back, folks.
yeah, I know, I know.
Holy
That's
cow.
crazy.
So, okay, so one doesn't just jump on the bike and decide I'm going to complete that type of a race. What all goes into the training and preparation for this? I mean, it, obviously there's a science to it. You were talking about prepping, getting ready, having a crew that's also doing the same type of thing. But yeah, I mean, there's got to be mental, physical, and science, right? Behind all of this.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I've been following a training plan for about 2 years now, I think, maybe a little more. So I set my goals for the year or for the season, and then I have like a specific training to follow to like build me up
Mm,
um, to these goals.
okay.
So obviously, yes, a lot of time on your bike. Um, but I also like to I'm a bit of a Swiss knife, so I like to do a little bit of everything.
Uh
So
huh.
I've trained for triathlons and
Wow.
did an Ironman earlier this year. So also I run a lot and I swim a little bit. It's good for the upper body strength. So a little bit of cross training like that.
Okay.
Obviously some strength because you like if you're going to pedal for so long, you need to be sure that your knees can handle it because it's a lot of um, rotation. It's a lot of times bending your knees, right?
Yes.
So strength training is super important, and then the nutrition. Um, yeah, there's as you said, a lot of like physical, mental preparation, some science, and then just a lot of commitment, I guess, and a little bit of craziness.
Well, I can't even fathom, and this is coming from a guy who just kind of got an e-bike not too long ago. So,
Yay! I'm all about e-bikes.
nice. It's hard to believe with all the. It's amazing how many miles. Um, yes, definitely. Johnny U is saying, Okay, I love her."
Thank you.
I love it. Trail Pimp out there is saying the Swiss Army knife, 100% fire. Absolutely. Shannon Nietzsche is on. She says, an incredible athlete, humble, inspiring, and incredibly sweet. We all need heroes.
Thank you,
Definitely.
Shannon.
Yes. Mel by Q&A. Okay, she wins number one with that alone, right? Just that's amazing. Amazing. Debbie Keogh, producer Debbie's on. She says, I'm a little late, but excited for tonight's guest, another female mountain biker that's out there. So Yeah,
Hey, hi Debbie.
kudos on everything that you're doing. Brett Hall is saying just well. I think we're all kind of like,
Thank you.
holy
Oh,
cow.
thanks.
So discipline of gravel training into this, it definitely takes a lot of time. How much time do you give yourself, say like for the Hardman, 92 miles and 7,000 feet elevation? How much time does it take you to prepare for it?
Um, it's a tough question. I've had a bit of a weird preparation for this because I wasn't 100% training specifically for this. I just spent so much time on my bike this summer that I thought I had enough fitness and training in me to do it. But um, I think probably I probably train between 10 or 15 hours a week,
Okay.
something like that. And then it depends. Like sometimes it's not that much biking because I also run and swim. And
Hmm.
sometimes it's a lot of biking. And then I like to do super endurance rides. So sometimes I just go and ride my bike for 3 days and
Wow.
and come back. Yeah.
Wow. I had heard a story, maybe this is folklore, but I had heard that you started out on the coast on one of these 3-day ultra rides, went all the way up to Big Bear. You're nodding, so I think this is true. Then you pedaled from the bottom to the top of the lift. I think what did you go down? Going Green was the story? Or you
Yeah.
pedaled
Yeah.
up and you pedaled all the way to Big Bear. Then she climbs up to the top of Big Bear, bypasses the lifts. Who needs a lift when you're Miss Sarah? Goes down Going Green, and then you make your way all the way over towards the top of Rancho Cucamonga area, those mountains up there.
Yeah. Mount Baldy.
Mount Baldy, go up
Yeah.
Mount Baldy, and then come back on down and paddle back out towards the beach. Was that true?
Yeah. That's true.
Good lord.
The rumors are true. Uh, I
Jeez.
stopped before the beach though. I was late. I was late, so I stopped before the beach. But yeah, so
Wow.
that was my little 3 days trip of this summer that I did. I'm a very goal oriented person, and so I always need something to like keep me busy and like keep me going. And I just work with goals like that.
Mhm.
So the problem is when I don't have a goal, I open my computer, I look at a map, and I start going like, I wonder if I can ride from here to there. And then I
Wow.
start planning a trip, and then my husband comes home in the evening, and I'm like, oh, okay, so next week I'm gonna go ride up there. He's like,
Oh
oh
my
my
gosh.
god.
Now, when you do these rides, are you solo or does he get to go with you, or are you with a crew of people that you do these like 3-day excursions
I
on?
do
Or
these I do these solos. So
holy
yeah.
holy jeez. My goodness. I
It's nice. It's nice to be on your own sometimes. I love being with people. I'm a people person, I think, but I also like my rides alone where I just get into my zone and it's like my meditation
mm,
and it's just really nice.
yeah, I can totally understand that. Sometimes I think that it feels so good to be in the moment, not thinking about anything else other than maybe the sound of your breath or
Yeah.
the cadence of how you're moving. Is that where you tune into?
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's people ask me like, what do you listen to? I'm like, I don't listen to anything. I just listen to nature, to my like tires on like the ground and yeah, my breathing and it's it's really relaxing. And I have my phone on silent. So like if you try to call me one day, I'm not answering, I'm probably riding my bike and um so yeah, it's really nice, yeah.
That's
Plus I go
cool.
solo a lot because no one wants to come with me.
Yeah. It's probably when you dwindle the list down of, "Hey, would you like to come on a ride with me? I'm gonna go over 100 miles. We're gonna probably go 10,000 feet. We'll be back
Yeah,
in
right.
3 days." Like, I think my
Everyone
cell
left the
phone's
room.
cutting out. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Oh my gosh. Brett Hall's on. He goes, just stop it. Brett says, oh man, that's fun
Oh
stuff.
god.
Oh, you might recognize this guy, Bertrand. Didier says, she's crazy. You realize
Hey,
that?
that guy has the same name as me.
Yeah. I wonder if that's the hubs. MTV Rages says, come on, Mark. Your wife's a trail warrior in her own right. Yes, I am also married to one, Bertrand. I'm married to an ultra trail runner. And yeah, she loves putting on the miles and elevation as well. And same thing, Sarah. She does not wear headphones. She just wears her nice glasses, puts her shoes on, and out she goes, out on the trails,
Wow,
her
that's
happy place.
sick. That's
Yeah.
awesome. Love
Yeah.
it. I need to
It
meet her.
you definitely do. You guys would get along great, and that would give Bertrand and I a chance to kinda, like, go ride our bikes somewhere
Yeah, I love
close
trail
by.
running.
Do you really?
Yeah, yeah, I really like it. Super fun.
So, I've heard you say swimming, running, trail running, gravel, road, mountain bike. I mean, you love
Road,
all of the
not so
different
much.
road, not so much? Okay.
A little bit, but yeah.
Yeah. Not so much. So, when you're doing these long distance rides, you're on the gravel bike along like how would one get from the coast up to Big Bear? You taking the roads up, but you're taking them on the gravel, or are there like trails along the way?
So I started from Mission Viejo, so not from the coast. So
Okay.
from my house in Mission Viejo, which is just closer to the mountain, went up over Black Star skyline.
Uh-huh.
And then you have this like wide valley, right, from like our OC Mountains to the San Bernardino Mountains. So that was all like on road, this section there, until I was at the bottom of the mountains, and then it was dirt again. And I mean, it's just crazy the amount of dirt roads that are in this country, and it's a dream for like an endurance like gravel cyclist because you can just ride forever. And then from there all the way up to Big Bear, I was just on trail roads and
Really?
some jeep roads and stuff, and it was
Wow.
it was super nice. I was alone in the mountains. It was great.
Peaceful. Yeah,
Mhm.
I could imagine. I bet. Are you pack yourself like on a trip like that? Are you have all the lights on, like the light bright lumens, or do you stop and camp somewhere when it gets dark? Or are you riding the
Um,
whole time?
no, 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 no. I sleep and I don't camp. I stay at hotels or motels. I try to like plan so I can sleep in an actual bed in an actual place because I'm a little scared to camp by myself.
Or yeah.
I'm not there yet, maybe one day, but so far I'm still a little not super comfortable to camp by myself in the mountains. I mean, there's also like so much wildlife here that as a non-Californian, I'm still not used to uh, the bears and the mountain lions and all that.
Yes, definitely.
Um, so no, I stay at hotels usually.
That's amazing, Sarah. I like Deb says, I don't blame her, and, it's amazing that you can actually make it to the hotel when probably a lot of us would be just like, "I'm on the trail. I just gonna have to sleep here because I can't move my, legs anymore."
Yeah, I know. Sometimes it's good to have that goal. Like you're like, I have to make it to that place
Yeah.
because otherwise I'm out there. So I guess when you have a tent, you may be more tempted to just like stop and camp where you are when you're tired. But when you have to make it to your your lodging, then it's kind of a goal in your day to
Yes.
I just gotta push it. I gotta make it there.
Gosh, man, I could totally feel that. So, also too, if it's like if you're running out of daylight, I'm sure that's a motivator as well.
Yes, yes. So I mean, obviously, so I did that ride in summer. So the good thing is that I had a lot of daylight, like
Mhm.
time. The bad thing is that it was super hot.
Ooh, yes.
So every day I was in like the high 90s.
Whew.
Yeah, it was a hot 3 days. It wasn't during the heat wave.
That was brutal.
That would have been brutal, but it was still in July, so pretty hot. But I did bring some headlights for just in case I wasn't gonna make it in time. and I have to finish like an hour or two in the night. But it didn't happen. I made it always on time. Like Mount Baldy was super super close. Like
Wow.
the last mile or two, it was dark. I was riding down the road to get to the Mount Baldy Lodge. Just made it on time. I had called them in the afternoon to tell them that I was running late. Please save some food for me, and they were
Yes.
awesome. When I got there, like my plate was ready. I just
Oh my.
sat there and ate, and I was like, I'm sorry, guys. Like, I've been on my bike for 12 hours. Like, I'm dirty. I stink. Like, I'm terrible, but I just want to sit here and eat. They were like, don't worry. It's the mountains here. We don't care. We're all smelly and dirty.
Shout out to Mount Baldy Lodge. That is so
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
So tell us, what is it like? Okay, you're on the bike for 12 hours. You're probably like munching on little tiny things to kind of keep the energy levels up so you don't bonk. And you get there and you're tired and you're out of daylight. You rode 2 miles in the dark. You get there, there's this hot plate of food. You've been
And
suffering
a
all,
beer.
and a beer and a cold beer, definitely. What is it like after you've been suffering to take that first bite and drink that cold beer? Is it, what is that?
It's I don't know. Like I want to say it's so so good, but like on the other hand, you're just tired. So you're like,
You're like, this is just fuel for
yeah,
tomorrow.
I just want to put this food in my body. So it's like you're really enjoying it, but you're also just like, I'm so tired. Can I just have an IV and just like put the food
Hydrate.
in my body without me having to do something? It's it's just weird, but it's more about the feeling like, oh, I made it. Like,
Oh,
like
yeah.
I made it to where I needed to go today, and the feeling of like, getting somewhere, like making it to the top of the mountain or making it, and then it's like anything in life, right? When you like set a goal and you get there, and you're like, damn, I actually did this, and it's this
Yeah.
awesome feeling, right? And
Yeah.
sometimes it's like a longer term goal, and sometimes it's these like small or not that small daily goals on your bike, just like making it to where you wanted. And that's the best feeling for
Oh,
me.
I could imagine that delayed gratification. You set out to hit that goal. 12 hours later, you're like in the dark. You're 2 miles away. You're not going to give up. You called them to say, I'm going to be there. Please save me a plate. But never once did it ever cross your mind, I just going to get a pull over here and see if I can catch a ride the rest of the way. Or that's like nowhere close to your thought process.
um no, I mean, I'd have to be in a very dark place to think that I'm going to give up. But it did happen to me on a ride this summer, and it's the first time I called my husband, and I was like, you're going to have to come and pick me up.
Oh, man.
And yeah, it was just like it was too hot. I didn't plan very well, and yeah, the heat just hit me, and I had to cut the ride a little short. And so yeah, that happened once. Sometimes it happens. It's the
Yeah.
way it is. There's
Right.
no, it doesn't matter. Sometimes you just have to be smarter than how do you say it? My friends always tell me there's a very fine line between brave and stupid.
Oh, yeah, 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 that makes sense.
And I'm like, yeah, sometimes, yeah, you want to be stubborn and finish what you started, but sometimes it's not the wisest thing to do.
Yeah, and
And that's
somebody
okay.
and yeah, that's great advice and a good tip for folks out there that are pushing it and really pushing the limits is like there is that line. But and I know for folks like you who really push yourself there, you've already gone through like a lot of the gas tank because a lot of times when you bonk, there's a lot left in the tank. But for you to get to the point where you're like, all right, we're throwing up the red flag or the white flag, that's pretty far along. Was that a quiet ride home, I wonder?
When he picked me up,
Yes. Were you mad? Were you upset? Were you not did it
no, I was
no?
just no, I was just tired. I
Yeah.
was just like, hmm. I didn't plan very well, and I lost too much time looking for my route, and it was too hot. And thank you for picking me up. And tomorrow's a new day, right? And
I
yeah,
love
no,
it.
that was it.
I love it, man. Look at this. This is so good. So your husband actually is right here. He says, but she is so tough. She is a real athlete. Yes.
Oh, it's cute.
Yeah, I could for sure, for sure. Trail Pimp is saying, man, just driving to Big Bear is hard for me to get to the bike park.
Yeah,
Oh,
I know. Now, every time I drive to Big Bear, I'm like, huh, I actually rode this.
right? Never gonna complain about driving up to Big Bear ever again, knowing that people like you are riding up it. That is so good. N2 Raging says, ha ha ha, she started going up Black Star as her kickoff. uh Debbie Keogh is saying, I don't blame her. Hotel is the way to go. Medi says, Miami out there saying 12 hours on a bike. Johnny, you says, I know, right? More than that too on that big race. What was it, 27?
Yeah, yeah.
27 hours.
You
My
need a
goodness.
comfortable saddle and comfortable bib shorts.
Yeah.
And a lot of chamois butter.
A lot of chamois butter. Yes. Yeah.
Reapply, keep reapplying. Sorry, this is gonna be TMI now.
Are you able to do you reapply? Okay. So this is all about preparation and things like that to help. Not only is there like the mental strength, there's the tenacity, there's the physical strength, but then there's all the preparation that goes into it. How much would you say preparation goes into a successful trip or a successful race?
A lot. Yeah. It's you got to prepare, and I didn't just like wake up and decided that I was going to ride for like these long distances. Starts,
Mhm.
with like a day ride, or like let's say a 3 or 4 hours, if you've never done that distance, and then maybe you push it to like a 6 or 8, and and then you go to like the multi days and all that. But it's a lot of preparation because you got to figure out all your nutrition. You got
Mhm.
to figure out like how you're going to carry everything on your bike, like where you're going to stop, what's your escape plan, like
Wow.
um, even things like where am I going to be out of service, and
Oh my
so
gosh.
I'm like, if I'm stuck here, I really need to keep moving because I won't be able to use my phone, so I need to go like further. And I'm actually getting I need to get a satellite device for my next trips because this country is gnarly. Like Switzerland is very small. We have service like pretty much everywhere.
Yeah.
This is not Switzerland. Like I just ride 2 hours from my house and I'm out of service.
Right.
So I definitely need to invest in one of these satellite devices for those longer trips because I know I'm gonna keep doing them and I'm just gonna keep going further and longer. So
Yeah,
yeah.
that makes sense. That's a great idea. I think that'd be a good investment too. My wife also, who's a trail runner, is looking at possible things that are small and light, but still
Hmm.
kind of keep you somewhat in communication. I think there was, I don't know, have you been looking at any of these satellite uh, pieces that you can use? I think Garmin makes one that's really small.
Yeah, Garmin makes one. There's this brand called Spot Tracker that has one, or just
Hmm,
Spot, I think.
okay.
That's the one they gave us at the Unbound.
Oh.
Um, and then, oh my God, I can't remember all the names, but like if you Google satellite tracker, there's a bunch of tests, and they all have like different features, and sometimes it's super fancy and you can like send messages. Sometimes it's just tracking. So then it depends like what degree of fanciness do you want, but
Mhm.
they come with a plan. So then you have to actually get a subscription for the plan. So that's also like a big thing to consider when you're buying it because it depends like if you're going to use it all the time or if you're only going to use it like once or twice during the year, then you need something with a more flexible plan. So there's just a bunch of stuff to consider.
That makes sense, right? Yeah, if you're gonna do a lot of these, then you want to pick that other plan. But if you're only gonna do like one, then
Yeah, you don't want to be paying for the whole year if you're only using it for 1 month, right?
right,
So
exactly. Exactly. You had touched a little bit about nutrition when it comes to this. So obviously, when you're an athlete and you need your body to perform, do you stay within a nutrition plan kind of like as a steady state as always, or do you tune it to what is coming up next, like whatever your next goal is? Do you tune your diet towards that goal?
I no, I just have a diet that works for me like year round.
Hmm.
Um, and it's not super strict. I just believe I have just naturally a pretty healthy diet. Like, um, I eat a bit of everything.
Okay,
uh,
moderation is good.
yeah.
Yeah, I heard
I
you
mean,
say
I
beer
don't.
too, so that makes me feel good. Yes, cheers.
I'm on margarita today.
There you go. Oh, I'm feeling better about myself, Sarah. Thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah. No, I mean, you gotta live. If you like drinking beers, then why not?
Yes.
I stay away from alcohol before races though.
How
So
how far out?
um sometimes like a month.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, if it's a big race like Ironman typically, like yeah, I quit drinking alcohol for a month because I just want to have these final weeks leading into my race like 100% efficient.
Mhm, mhm.
Um, if it's a smaller one like Hardman, it's just the week before.
Wow.
I just,
Hardman is a smaller one. My gosh, folks.
not smaller, but just like it's not what I've been training for the entire year, you know. Like you
Got
go
it.
into an Ironman, you've been training for it like so long.
Yes.
You don't want to screw up because you had one too many beers like the night
Right.
before. Like
All
I
those
just want to
hours
be
and
for me, I just want to be sure that I did everything I could to like bring my body to the race like 100%.
whew.
So yeah, but other than that, yeah, it's just year round, just eating healthy. I avoid a lot of like processed food. That's just my general rule.
Okay.
Um, I love to cook, so I cook a lot. And then I have all my sports nutrition food, which I eat when I'm on the bike, which
Okay.
is a different story.
Yeah, I'd love to get it. I'd love to get some tips on that, and I'm sure in the audience for all of us, anything that you are going to share with us is helpful. Um, so when you're talking about nutrition, are you more like, there's all these different types of diets. There's carb, there's pescatarian, there's vegetarian, there's vegan, there's only protein and meats. But you sound like you're kind of the person that just does a little bit of everything in moderation. But what does it look like for you?
um, uh, sorry,
No, it's
brain fart.
okay. More like high protein, more high carbs combination.
Uh, just a combination, just a really like mix of all kind of different sources of protein, carbs, and vitamins. I just try to have my meals like very diverse and complete, and I look into stuff to see like what kind of nutrients do they have, and
Mhm.
um, yeah, do I have and if I have like a problem, like I'm feeling tired or so on, I'd always look at my diet first. I would look like, oh, okay, what was I eating,
Oh, yeah.
and what could I eat more, and um, you also have like these special foods that like turmeric, it's anti-inflammatory. So I
Mhm.
tend to have sometimes like some knee pain, so I just take turmeric. Um,
That helps you a lot.
yeah, well, I mean, at least it didn't not help me because I haven't had knee pain this year,
Yeah,
so it's
that's
been working really well.
right. That's fantastic. I
So yeah, but I don't know. I'm not a diet person.
Yeah, well, it sounds like it sounds like what you're doing is working for your body, and, it's great because when you're feeling something, you're looking at your diet first. I mean, somebody had told me once before that you can never outwork a bad diet, right? So, no matter how hard you try, you have a bad diet, that's,
Oh yeah,
you gotta change that.
yeah,
And,
yeah.
coming from a person who's doing what you're doing is crazy. It's awesome.
No, and I'm all about nutrition. Like I speak so much about nutrition to my friends too. There was like, oh my God, Sarah, like always talking about food. And I love food.
Hide the Snicker bars, folks. Here comes Sarah.
Oh, I actually I ate a lot of paydays for my Ironman. And
Oh,
when I told my friend that I was eating paydays, she was like, "What? These are candy bars." I'm like, "Yeah, but like they're full of peanuts and
yep.
they don't have chocolate, so they don't melt in my pocket. And they have like good sugar and a nice taste, and it makes me happy. So I eat them."
Yeah.
So
Paydays are
it's just a mix.
delicious.
But like one advice that I could give like to any rider is that like the way you the way you fuel on a ride is not just for athletes. It's for anyone. Like
Yes, tell us, tell us.
anyone should be paying attention on like how they're eating during the ride.
Okay.
And a lot of people they're just like, oh yeah, whatever, I had breakfast, I'm gonna go for like a 2 hours ride and not gonna eat anything or you know, and well, a lot of people don't do great on like these longer rides because they're not eating what they should be eating. Like any person is losing like so much calories and so like burning calories and losing sodium and all that, like you have to
Mhm.
replenish. It's not just like performing athletes, it's anyone. And I did my own experience with my husband because he
Poor
wasn't
Ken's like,
eating. He was always like, "No, I'm not eating. I'm
yeah.
I'm good. I'm good." But he would get grumpy and I'm like, "You're grumpy because you're hungry. Like you don't even know it, but that's you need
Mm,
to eat." And so one day I was like, "Okay, this is what you're going to eat. Like every 30 minutes you're going to eat this and that and da da da." And he did it and he was like, "Oh my God, I feel so much better on this ride."
really?
And I'm like, yeah, dude, it's not because of your fitness. It's because you're not putting energy in your body, so your body can't work.
Oh, yeah,
So
that
that's
makes
a tip that
sense.
I can give to anyone. Like, if you're riding for like more than like 1.5 hour, more than 2 hours for sure, you need to be eating.
Okay, and it sounds like we need, like, sodium, sugar. Is it, like, fast
Yeah.
type of stuff that we can use right away, like sugars and sodium, or is it stuff that needs to yeah, what is
Not
it?
well, it should be. It depends and on like on the type of effort, and I don't want to go too much into details because I'm also like not a nutritionist.
Sure, yeah.
But
But
yeah,
but you just won
basically,
podium at the Hardman, so you have some clout here.
yeah, basically it's like um, sodium and carbs
Okay.
and a mix of like different types of sugars, like glucose and fructose.
Uh-huh.
So you gotta like if you're only eating like one type of food, then you might not have everything in it. So you might need like some different sources of
Got it.
food, like I don't know, a bar and an energy chew, and then you have your drink or something like that. Um,
Gotcha, gotcha.
but
So
yeah,
yeah,
basically, yeah, they have a rule of thumb of like 300 calories an hour or around like 60 carbs an hour.
okay.
So you can look at that and see what your bars are giving you. And I need to plug my computer. Sorry.
Yeah, yeah, no, it's okay. Yeah, while you do that, I'm just gonna read it off here, a couple of the chats. Oh my goodness, look at this. SSBMTB. What's up, family? Just got home from the lab. Time to crack a cold one. Cheers, fam. Let's go, Miss Sarah. What's up, John B? Good to see you, brother. And big congratulations to Sarah for being a SSB family member, just inducted right before the big Hardman race in which she took podium, which is amazing. Adventure Muse says that's a perfect quote. Yes, bonks happen, especially when it's humid and hot. Man, so true. Wherever you're listening to this podcast in California, we had this crazy heat wave and it was hot and humid. And normally we just had kind of a dry heat. So that was very interesting. MTV Raging says SSB MTB in the house. That's right, Craig. John B's on. Oh man, yeah, Big John. What's up, brother? Says Brett Hall. Air Blair is on the line. He says, my SSB sister Sarah S. Diddy is in the house. Oh man, I love it. I love it. Um, Trail Pip is saying, I scored some Cali creamsicle at Walmart in Palm Springs. I'm taking some to Snow Valley tomorrow. Yes, that stuff is so it's so good. It's so good. Mia is on here too. She says, yes, 100% fueling before, during, and after. That's interesting because I'm definitely a lot like Sarah's husband here. I don't take anything, but maybe I should. Should take something out there when I go for these longer rides. I did actually go for a ride the other day and I bonked, and I haven't bonked in a long time, but I did the type of bonk where I felt weak, shaky, had the weird sweatiness going on, and hightailed it back to the house. But yeah, I haven't done that in a long time. MTB Raging here says, when you train as consistent as you do, you are a fuel machine. Yeah, I know. Craig is definitely working hard on his XC, so he is definitely taking in the calories. Truck Pimp saying, totally agreed. So, oh my gosh, you guys, this is awesome to have Sarah on. She is, for those of you who are tuning in a little bit later, she is the gold medalist winner of the Hardman. It was 92 miles and 7,000 feet elevation change. The second place right behind her was 12 minutes out. So she was killing it out there. And MTB Raging, oh yeah, here we go. As far as fuel goes, and we'll ask Sarah, we'll get into this when she gets back. MTB Raging is saying, get those honey stingers. What do you guys like using out there? For the folks that are out there in the chat, what do you guys like using? I definitely have been utilizing a lot of hydration type of mixes to put in my water, and that's been really solid. And so that is always good. Honey stingers. I know Air Blair is supported by Honey Stinger, and he was able to get some out to the local community. So thank you, Blair. Those were delicious, delicious and nutritious. Sarah, welcome back. We were just talking a little bit about nutrition still.
Yeah, so sorry about that. Like, oh my God.
Oh no,
I
no,
need
you're fine. It's good. You're doing great. We were actually talking about hydration, nutrition, and honey stingers came up. Also, John B from SSB jumped on to give you some love. So we gave Big John B a shout out, and he said, welcome to the fam bam. Gave you a congratulations too on that, Miss Sarah. Welcome to the SSB family. Um, what do you, is there a specific product that you use for you for these rides that you find really help you perform while you're out there?
Yeah. So I'm a big fan and I'm going to give them a shout out, but
Yes.
I don't get any sponsoring from them. So I'm
Okay.
really just saying it because I love their product.
Yeah.
Is Spring Energy.
Spring Energy. Okay.
Yeah, I've been telling all my friends about it. They have like really good products. It's all real ingredients and natural ingredients. So I'm a little bit of a ingredient freak, and
Okay.
my rule of thumb is that if I can't understand what it is, I'm not going to eat it. So
Okay.
I kind of look at the ingredients and I'm like, yeah, these are foods that are actual food and I know what it is. I'll eat that. But if it sounds like I'm eating like a magic potion or something, like I'm more skeptical. But I
What
do
is
a
a
bit.
flux capacitor bar?
I do a bit of a mix because there's also a lot of science. So mainly, yeah, the Spring Energy is really good. The awesome sauce is like an applesauce, and
This
it's
one right
just
here, I see it.
it's
Yeah.
the green one. It's the best. Like I can eat that all day long, and
Really?
it has
Okay.
a lot of calories and a lot of carbs. So it just works really really well. I look at food that just because I'm doing like a lot of endurance, so I just need to eat a lot. So I just look at like um, a high amount of calories and carbs for myself. So this works well for me, but it's like very personal. Everyone has to figure
Mhm.
it out, and I think it's
Yeah.
worth taking the time to like try and see what works for you and what you like. And I mean, it's also a bit of a budget, so what can you afford? So I'm always trying some new stuff. And I saw, yeah, you showed the feed, and
Yes.
I think that's an awesome place because you can just buy like those one packs or like samplers, so you can buy like different things. So now I just have a mix of everything. Like I do honey stingers too. Um, I do SIS fuel.
Mm.
I do Scratch Labs. Love the Scratch Labs drinks.
I
So I just
recently,
it's a
yeah,
matter of trial and error. But
for the
yeah,
for the first time, I just picked up some Scratch Labs hydrator, and I've been mixing that in my water, and it tastes great. I
yeah.
got the strawberry lemonade. I'm like, I find myself at night going down for a glass of water, and I'm like, oh, I'm just gonna put a little bit of this
Oh
in
yeah.
there. It tastes so good.
Yeah, it's so good. And they have a recovery drink that's amazing. Like I I'm totally addicted to my chocolate recovery drink after a hard workout or after a race
From
or
Scratch Labs.
something from Scratch Labs. Yeah, it's
Ooh.
like it I need it. It's like my little comfort food after the ride. It's like I have my little chocolate drink
It's
and
like a
I feel
reward.
yeah. Yeah, like a kid, like you get your chocolate drink at the end.
I love it. One of my neighbors, his name is Kelly, and he is a lot like you. He loves the grind. He's a triathlete. He runs, he swims, he gets on his road bike, gets on his XC bike, and he just goes. And he's supported by Hammer Nutrition. And I was looking at some of their stuff, and I'm like, oh my gosh, there are so many good companies out there that make things. And then you go to Amazon, and to the untrained eye, everything looks good. But then, like you said, you're looking at the ingredients and you're like, what the heck is that? So
Mhm.
it's really hard to know unless you know. So thank you so much for sharing some of the things that work for you. Really.
Yeah, and as you said, I mean, it works for me. Will always, you know, tell people what I like, but I also tell people you got to see if it works for you because it's do you like the consistency? Do you like the taste? Do you like I can't do like I like the honey stinger chews and the bars, but I can't do the gels because I don't like this um I think I'm using a wrong word. Texture. I said
Yeah.
consistency, but it's not. It's I don't like the texture of it. So it's a lot of different things that.
Yes.
Um, and I do pizza too.
Which one's that one?
Pizza. Uh,
Oh, regular
slice.
pizza.
Yeah, regular
Oh yeah.
pizza.
Oh dang. So
Yeah. Sometimes
wait.
on longer rides, I wrap that, and I just take that.
You just got like half of the audience to go, oh, thank God. Yum. We can have pizza.
Yes, if it makes you happy, why not?
Right? It's like a little mental boost right there when you're able to dive into some pizza, which is really good. We get a lot of folks here that are sharing what they use in the chat. We definitely have MTV where he says, get those honey stingers. He says, Debbie Kyo is saying, I love the honey stinger waffle and the gel. Mia is sharing that I have Goose electrolytes. Oh yeah, look at that. Empty Raging saying Blair and I agree on the HS, the Honey Stinger gummies. Ooh, and waffles on there. Another one for the waffles.
Yeah, they're
Interesting.
good.
Another one for the goo. Trail Pimp saying goo was my favorite. We actually sold some Honey Stinger waffles. I think Mia's gonna buy some. She says, "Ooh, I should try those waffles." John B from SSB is saying fluid nutrition. Ooh, I wonder.
Yes. I don't know if it's serious or if it's a joke, but either way, it's yes.
Yeah. John, we got to try some of that fluid nutrition. Bertrand is saying applesauce from spring. So good. So he's totally on that too. He's totally on
Yep.
that too. I got to try that. Trail Pimp is saying I use Kool-Aid.
So, okay, you know what? That's something I don't know because I'm not American, so I have no idea what Kool-Aid is.
Oh gosh. So okay. So
I hear
Kool-Aid.
it all the time, but I'm always like, I don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah. So Kool-Aid is a drink that they made. It's basically like sugar packets that have intense flavor, and you can mix them into water, and you can mix it to a pitcher. And it's been around for a little while, but it's kind of disappeared a teeny bit. It's somewhat making a comeback. But here is what Kool-Aid looks like. I'll pop it up right here. So that's the logo for Kool-Aid. You see that guy in the
Uh,
picture right
yeah, I
there?
was gonna say, I feel it's something for kids, right? Because
Yes.
like in the movies, it's always something related with kids, like we'll do
Yeah.
Kool-Aid for the kids. I don't know.
Yeah, like Kool-Aid is delicious. It's like, Jolly Ranchers, but you can drink it. But I'm sure the sugar content without checking it here is really tasteful. Let's just put it that way. But Kool-Aid is delicious. But it works. It works for Trail Pimp, so that's good.
Awesome. I love that everyone's sharing their tips. That's so great.
Yes, yeah. Adventures Muse says,
So much good
"Picky
stuff.
bars are also yummy and real food too." Oh, that's nice. Picky bars. I see there's so many things I haven't heard of. Um, Raging says, "I've used Crustables on Centuries when I was a lifer roadie." Oh, yeah. Interesting. You know what the Crustables are?
Yes, I
Yes,
discovered these. They're super good.
they are good. The peanut butter and
Yeah.
jelly?
Yes.
Oh, I I bit into a peanut butter or I thought was a peanut butter and jelly, but it was the Nutella chocolate, and it
Oh,
threw me for a loop. Nutella, it was good, but I was expecting that peanut butter and jelly taste, and I got a
yeah.
mouthful of Nutella, so it took a couple seconds for my brain to catch
Like,
up to my
what's
taste buds.
that?
Yeah, exactly, exactly. Oh, look at this. MTB Nick, what's up, bud? 123 says, "Kool-Aid sounds good on a hot day." Yeah, this guy's cool. He rides out at the Holder Crooks area a lot, so that's a cool trail system out there. And, Nick saying, "Haven't drank that in years," right? It's been a while for the Kool-Aid. Um, but okay, so the nutrition, you shared, like, the goose. I mean, are they hard to pack when you're going on these big, long rides, or do you pick accordingly to what you need?
Um, yeah, so I do the math, and I prepare everything that I need. I usually always end up with too much food because just like I'd rather have too much than running out of
Yeah,
food, but then
right.
I end up carrying all that weight that I wouldn't need. And I'm learning. I'm learning to be like way more precise, and I'm also learning to like know what's going to be available in the gas station and what's going to work for
Mm,
me from a gas station because then that's all the weight that I can save.
yes.
But basically, I'll, and that's what we were talking about at the beginning, like how much planning goes into like a trip like that. Well, it's a lot of planning because it's that time that you spend going like, okay, how much time am I going to be on the road? So how much calories am I going to burn and how much do I have to pack and where can I stop to refuel? So, um, you know, so I can bring less food with me because I can stop and buy some food, but
Yeah.
sometimes that's not an option.
Mm,
Then I prepare those bags, like, I usually do it, like, per day, so if I'm gone for 3 days, I'll have 1 bag for the first day and day 2, day 3, and that's it, and the nice thing is that as you go, you get lighter because 'cause you're eating your food, and so that's kind of nice, you start and you're packed super heavy, but then and that forces you to eat too, because sometimes when you're tired, it's hard, like, you're like, "I don't wanna eat, I don't wanna eat." But you
yeah,
have to.
you
So
have
it's
to.
good to know, like, hey, if I eat it, my pack will be lighter. So it's good.
Right. Yes, exactly. And is it true that you wanna try to avoid getting to the point where you are feeling like you need it, right? Like, you wanna make sure you're getting it in a little earlier than you feel it?
Yeah, if you're hungry, it's too late.
Got it.
Same with drinking. If you're thirsty, it's too late.
It's too late. Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask too about hydration. I mean, nutrition is important, but hydration I know is also important because we're losing a ton of a lot of electrolytes and sodium when we're out there. Never done anything like you've done, but I can only imagine. And it's heavy. Like fluid is heavy. So how do you prepare for the hydration portion of these long trips?
Yeah, that's the hardest part. And when I did my ride through Big Bear and Mount Baldy, I had my friend Michelle, who was my angel, and stashed some water for me on her way to work because she drives through where I was going. And so she did stash some water. I would look at the map and that's part of the planning. Like you gotta do your research and find where you can. Oh my god. um, yeah, you got to do your research and look at where can I find water. And sometimes you're like, okay, this is going to be a long section where I might not have water. And I was talking to her, and she was like, you know what? I'm gonna go there and I'm gonna stash some water for you on my way to work. So that,
Wow.
and that was awesome. Yeah, that was really good.
Wow.
So it's good to have some trail angels and road angels, whatever, just amazing friends that support you and that would actually, go out of their way to like support your crazy projects. That's
That
really awesome.
that is cool. That's a good friend right there.
Oh yeah.
Stashing water for you. And how important is it to hydrate before you actually even leave? Is there like a certain period of time that you're preparing your hydration? I know that we talked about in competition, you'll cut out the alcohol depending on what kind of a race that is. But then as far as hydrating up, is there a period of time that you're really hydrating up before?
I play it by ear. I know there's a lot of talk about like pre-hydration. So definitely you don't want to like show up to an event and you're already thirsty or starving.
Mhm.
Not starving, thirsty.
Uh-huh.
Um, so just but already the night before, the night before I just make sure even the day before, like I'm drinking enough water throughout the day and then drinking enough in the morning. Like I also don't I usually don't drink coffee before a race. Before a long ride, I would still, but not before a race. And I just drink tea and just try to have enough fluid. Also don't want to drink too much because then you don't want to have like a full belly of water and then you're riding your bike and it goes like bloop bloop bloop.
Yeah, right?
So
You have to pull over
that's
and
also not very nice.
right, be in
Um,
a bush somewhere.
yeah, and I'm sure like nutritionists would give you like proper numbers. As I said, like I'm not a specialist. I also do things just like by experience, like trial and error and trying to do what's going to work for me. But definitely, yeah. I mean, you want to make sure that the day before you've been hydrated and the morning of that you've been hydrating um, to a reasonable level.
And that's been working for you in your races. And what you definitely are a thought leader on, at least in my mind, is the mental process of going through these races and the happiness on the bike. Just being on the bike. What brought you to the bike? Like of all the sports that you could have done, because I can tell you're very athletic, what was it about the bike? What called you to it?
I love this question. You know what? It's actually seeing people biking and having fun.
That's
So I still remember that day. I was in Verbier. It's a pretty famous resort in Switzerland and in the Alps. Um, and I was already on a bike, but like a borrowed bike, just like, what are we doing today? Instead of doing a hike, like we'll take bikes and out there in the mountains. And I saw these guys like going down the mountain on like big downhill bikes and
dang.
stuff. And they seem to be having so much fun. And I was like, I want to have that much fun too. And so the next weekend, I went and borrowed a downhill bike and got into downhill mountain biking. And then from there, it just snowballed. And I always, I often say that I did it like the wrong way because I started like on the big suspension bike.
Uh-huh.
And then slowly I went into like those super light carbon bikes that you take to pedal for 27 hours.
Yes. Right?
So, and most people start with like maybe a little less suspension, and then as they progress, they go towards like the bigger bikes.
Right.
Um, but yeah, and I I was hooked immediately, like by just how much fun it was, but like the people in this sport, I've always been amazed of like the community around like cycling and mountain biking in particular. Um, I don't know, I've always met like amazing friends and amazing people. And I mean, and up until now, I mean, I've moved here like 2 years ago, just before COVID, which was pretty weird time to move to a new place.
Yeah.
And if I didn't have biking, like I wouldn't have met all the friends that I have now. And so for me, it's more than a sport. To me, it's really part of my life, and yeah, part of my world, or the world that I want to be in. And that's also what I guess kept me into the sport and makes me want to do more and more, because it's just like, it's crazy. I mean, you guys are probably old bikers, so you know what I mean. So I don't have to
Yes.
convince you. And I'm sure everyone's like, yeah, yeah, it is a great community, and that's why we're all here. And yeah, it's great.
But it's
Cycling has done a lot for me, so it's
yeah.
I'm really grateful that I was on the mountains and saw these guys having fun, and that I just wanted to do the same.
I love that. That is such a cool story on how it caught your attention, and I love the fact that it grabbed you enough to go and just rent a DH bike on your own, like, the very next week. You're like, I thought that was so cool. I'm actually gonna take action and do it. I know you're a goal-oriented person, so as soon as you got that goal in your head, you were going to get on a bike and go
Yeah,
down that trail. What
that's always something that I tell myself. It's like, don't wait for people to do what you want to do. If you want to do it, like, yeah, go to the store, rent a bike, go do it, you know? Like, if you want
Yes.
to ride your bike for 3 days, like, don't wait until someone's going to come with you. Like, just take your bike, pack your bag, and go do it.
And go experience it. Yeah, right? Totally. When you got on okay, so let's take us back to that day. You got the DH bike, you're renting it, you're taking it up to the mountain. The first time you throw your leg over the saddle and you're looking down the hill, what was going through your mind at that moment?
I was like, I don't know what I'm doing here.
Hi, folks,
It
Houston,
was
we have a problem.
it was terrible. That's when I realized, I was like, Sarah, you've only ridden a bicycle to like go to school and go down to the lake, and that's it. Like, you don't know how to mountain bike. And now you're here with your full face helmet on, and you're gonna go down this like super gnarly trail. And I crashed so much that day.
Oh,
Plus,
man.
it was a while ago, and bikes were like pretty heavy. It wasn't even my size, so I couldn't put the foot down without leaning the bike.
Oh
So
my god.
it was
Oh my
it
god.
was a nightmare. I don't know how after that experience I still loved it, because
Yeah.
I think I did 4 runs on the entire day, because I was just crashing and losing all my energy, like picking up my bike again and going down the trail. And but I guess I like type 2 fun, and that's why I got hooked. Yeah, there you go.
There it is,
Oh
folks.
my
There's Miss
god.
Sarah, DH bike. What bike park is it's so beautiful. Look at that water. For the folks that are not on if you're on Spotify or iTunes, you gotta check out the YouTube here. Where is this, Sarah? This is beautiful.
I think this one was in France, close to the Alpe d'Huez.
Oh,
So Alpe d'Huez is very famous for mega avalanche, and also for like the Tour de France that goes up there, like famous road and lots of climbing. And I think that was there. Yeah,
wow.
we went on a road trip and stopped at like a lot of places. And yeah, oh my god, look at my socks, low socks.
Yes. You got the low socks, you got the 510s though.
Oh yeah, yeah.
This is definitely pre-SSB days. This is
This
this
is
is
so funny.
this is awesome though. So you fell in love.
There were no women clothes neither.
Oh, yes, that's right. Yeah.
It's just like some super baggy, flapping, the smallest size I could find. But yeah,
Dang.
it was pretty cool.
Wow. So you fell now, when you fell in love with the sport, did you have a group of women that also fell in love with it and tried this with you? Or were you like, "I'm not gonna wait for anybody else. I wanna try this." Was that you?
Yeah. Okay. So at that time, I was dating this guy, and we kind of started together.
Got it,
So
okay.
yeah, so both of us were like, "Oh, we should do that," and so we got into it together. So I was with him. I wasn't all on my own, and then we met a lot of people, and there weren't that many girls. Now I'd go to like bike parks. Sometimes I'd be the only woman um, on the entire mountain, but it was also like a while ago. It was just starting. Like bike parks were getting built like across the Alps in Europe. So it wasn't as popular as it is today. Um, I mean, yeah.
Wow, so you just yeah, you just jumped on it. That's very, very, very cool. MTB Nick is asking, was your first experience on a bike, was it at a bike park?
So yeah, on a mountain bike,
Yeah,
like proper, like descending, yes. Otherwise, I've I've had bikes as a kid, just yeah, as I said, to go to school or go to my friend's house and stuff like that. So I knew how to ride a bike, but like proper mountain biking, that was it.
dang, dang, Sarah. Trail Pip is saying, I never recommend the bike park because it's so addictive. I can't get enough.
Yeah, it's I guess it's true at some point, and then I got tired of it, and now I never go to the bike park.
Right. You're in places like this right here, just out there in the wilderness, riding your bike, having a good time. Like Mr. John B says right here, SSB says, ride bikes, be happy. Yeah, we ride, we live. SSB. That is like such a cool shot right there. Is that I noticed on your Instagram, you have on your handle, it says happiest when I'm on my bike.
Ah, yeah.
And, and there's so many things you can put there and you put happiest when I'm on my bike. What does that mean to you and it kind of like in a nutshell, happiest when I'm on my bike?
Um, it's just, um, hmm.
Because I think we all feel the same.
It yeah, yeah, it's it's just true. I just feel, like, really, really happy, uh, when I'm riding my bike, and I just, like, started to realize it, like, more and more, and, um, it's just I never have, like, a bad day if I've been riding my bike. So it doesn't mean I'm not happy in any other moments, but, it's also that, I don't know, it's also like Instagram, and I wanted my Instagram to be about my cycling passion. So I
Yes.
made it like very cycling specific. Um, I have also other things that I do in life that I don't necessarily share on Instagram, or other things I'm passionate about. Maybe not as much as cycling though.
Yeah.
um, and then yeah, for me, it's just as simple as that. It's like, why do you ride a bike? Well, because it makes me happy. I'm just like so happy when I'm on my bike. Like, I don't care about anything else. So, yeah, I'm sorry. I wish I had like a
That
way better thing, like
no, I totally feel you on
deeper to
that.
say, but it's very easy that it just makes me
Yeah.
super happy.
I love it. That I totally feel you on that. I think all the folks here in the audience feel it too. It's something about jumping on the bike and just pedaling and kind of breaking away from everything. It's like a good mental break, you know? You're literally on an adventure, one pedal at a time, and you're currently there for each pedal. You're not thinking about anything else, you know? It's such a great place to be. And I think in today's society, it's so hard to get to that spot because cell phones, computers, emails, text messages, phone calls, man, when is it time? And then when you get out on your bike and you're just free,
Right?
you know?
It's like time is suspended or something. It's just,
Yes.
I'd be curious. I'd like to know the audience, like maybe if you can put one word, what is biking to you? That I'd be curious to know. Like
Yeah,
the one word reason why you bike.
that's a great one. If it were if I'm typing it in, I would say being present. For me, biking brings me to the present. Um,
That's
because
cool.
when I'm cruising down the trail, if I'm doing a trail downhill, I have to be present in that moment. And my eyes are big and my adrenaline's open, and I'm choosing decisions in that moment to make the bike go to the right place. Otherwise, there's consequences. And I'm not thinking about the electrical bill that just came in that was super high. I'm not thinking about like, oh man, how much money do I have to save for this or that? All I'm thinking about is that very second, which is we never get to do that.
Yeah,
We
that's
never
so
get to.
true.
Shannon Nietzsche saying there's nothing like being on your bike. Nothing. Complete bliss. Yes. That's a
Yes, it
great
is.
description. Trail Pimp is saying good times. Just good
That's
times.
the thing. Yeah, just
Yeah.
as simple as that. Just fun.
Just fun.
Good
Exactly.
memories, good places, and good people.
How cool is it, Sarah, that when we were little kids, to think that that jumping on your bike wasn't going to be just that. It was something that you were going to be able to take from your childhood and take it in as an adult. And no one else can take that away. You get to bring part of
Yeah.
your kid self with you on the bike, which is amazing. SSB MTB is saying live. Live is the one word he would use there with John B. Shannon is saying peace. Yeah, definitely. Right? Peace.
Yeah.
Live is I love live too, because life can go by and we can't make more time, but we can make the time count. And living, we're
Mhm.
actually going to be living, which is great. MTB Nick 123 is saying adventure. Yes, adventure for sure. Like Sarah on the 3-day trips that you take that nobody else wants to go
Absolutely,
on
yeah.
with you.
Doesn't have to be like any ride is a small adventure, and I think that's awesome.
So true. So true. MTB Nick 123 says the adrenaline. Yes, that's definitely that. Craig, MTB Raging, is saying serenity. Serenity. Definitely. So, Trail Monster, I love this. Trail Monster saying we are just a bunch of 12-year-olds at heart.
I
Yeah,
love
me
that.
too. Me too. That is a good one. Oh, Sarah, man, time went by. We are already over
I
an
know.
hour. It's crazy how it goes so fast. Congratulations on winning the Hardman. Well deserved. 92 miles, over 7,000 feet elevation change, plus all the other sports that you're into, the triathlete, triathlon. You're doing so many great things for the sport of mountain biking, also for women in mountain biking. And congratulations for being a part of the SSB family, getting inducted into the family officially. That is awesome right there. SSB, we ride, we
They're
live.
awesome. They're awesome.
They are. So
Really, I gotta give them a big kudos and a big hug because they've been supporting me like crazy since I got into this family, and it's really nice.
isn't it? They are so warm and so good. A lot of good people in one place. It's
Mm.
a really unique place. And
And when you're grinding, knowing that people behind are cheering you on and believing in you, that really helps to keep going, I can tell you.
yes, I bet. I bet that feels really, really good, especially when you're depleted, you know? Yes. La Familia is stoked to you. Oh, that is awesome. Sarah, is there anything that you wanted to share before we end the show that you didn't get a
um,
chance to?
I mean, we had a great conversation, and I'm very thankful that I was able to be here. And thank you so much for inviting me. And also, thank you to all the people who tuned in and interacted. That was awesome. I really had a lot of fun. And yeah, there's one more thing, maybe. I know I mentioned it before, but it's really like don't wait. Don't wait to like do what you love, and just get out there, ride your bike, set your goals, and whatever they are, big or small. I mean, everyone has their own little finish lines. And yeah, don't wait to live your passion. Just go out for it, and that's it.
I love it. Sarah, tell the folks where they can follow you if they want to follow more of you in your journey. Where can they follow you on your journey?
So I think the best place is to go to Instagram on my Instagram account. So I don't know how much they can read on this screen. It looks small to me, but um, my handle is, I always laugh about it because no one can pronounce it. La Belibula.
Oh, I like that.
So, yeah.
What does that mean?
It means ladybug.
Oh, yeah.
It's just,
Cool.
it's a teenage thing and it stuck with me.
I like
But
that.
I like it because it's kind of the luck, like the lucky insect. So yeah, go find me on Instagram, and that's where I share most of my cycling adventures. And I have a few things coming up, hopefully soon, but I'll share them on Instagram. So if you're there, you should be able to like know the rest.
Ooh, sounds like some exciting stuff coming up. I cannot wait to see it and cannot wait to be able to type in there congratulations when that day comes.
Thank
That
you.
that
Thanks.
is awesome. Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Sarah Didier. Thank you so much for jumping on. Really appreciate it, Sarah.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. And thanks for being here. I'll see you
You.
out there.
Yeah, Sarah, and I'll see you out on the trails. Oh, yeah.